So good evening, everybody. My name is Sergii, and I want to show you my portfolio project. It is about sport predictions and sport predictions in hockey, National Hockey League. So what do we know about National Hockey League? So it consists from 32 teams, and they split it in 2 conferences and 4 divisions. And the season structures, the season consists from pre-season, main season or regular season, and Stanley Cup. And I use for predictions only the regular season. What else is important to know for us? This is rules and scoring, of course. So if team wins, he gets 2 points. If he loses in the main time, he gets 0 points. But if he loses in additional time or overtime, he still gets 1 point. So what I have to say that in principle, people try to predict sports, and the most popular, of course, this is soccer, but also American football, rugby, and also ice hockey. But the main goal of this project, this is not to compete with all those guys. So it is about development of machine learning tool in order to help the sport fans to compete with bookmakers and in order to increase their chances to win in sports betting. So the first step for us, how to do that, so this is of course the data. We can go to the different websites where we can see different sports statistics. For example, here you can see how it looks like the sports statistics for the hockey. So it includes goals, shots, saved goals, and so on. And additional to that, and as compared to other guys, I include, I collect also the bet statistics. So bet statistics, this is just the odds from different bookmakers. And by combining these 2 statistics, we can do interesting things. Yeah, and how I do that, how I collect the statistics. So in principle, I use just the web scraping techniques available in Python, for example, Selenium library. And I have downloaded last 5 seasons from National Hockey League. This is more than 5,000 matches, and it includes also 43 features, both for sports statistics and for bet statistics. And this is our raw data. And of course, we have to do different manipulations with those features in order to prepare our data set for the learning algorithms. And finally, at the final step, we have to introduce, of course, the target. In our case, the target, this is the win or lose of the home team. So the team which plays at home. So this is actually the binary classification problem. And here you can see how it looks like the data set. But actually this data set is useless for us. Why? Because if we, for example, if we want to predict some match, we use statistics which is available only after the match is finished. For example, the goals, number of shots, and so on. So what to do? So in principle, it's trivial. We have to introduce another features which are known before the match. So how I do that? I introduce, I call this cumulative features. What is cumulative features? This is just cumulative summations of, for example, points here. So I accumulate the points throughout the whole season, and when 2 teams plays, we know already the points of those teams, which depends from all previous matches. And also, it does make sense to introduce the difference features. So this is just the difference between 2 cumulative features for the home team and for the away team. So that's nice, but you see there is some problem here that at the beginning of the season, we have zeros for cumulative features, and we have the zeros because until the first game, of course, the team doesn't have points, shots, and so on. So this is bad because how we can predict something if we don't have information. So how to overcome that? I just take information from the previous season. So I calculate the same cumulative features, then calculate the average numbers, and I use that numbers to replace these zeros here from the average numbers from previous season. So this the data set we can do already the training of our model. And yeah, I have used different machine learning algorithms like random forest, head boost classifier, XGB classifier. The best results I've got with XGB classifier, and it was nearly 60%. And how to understand whether it's good or bad? Yeah, well, we can compare, for example, with results obtained by other guys. So this is what you can see in literature on sport predictions in hockey. So we see that two other teams, they obtained nearly the same accuracy, 59 and 60%. But there was one team which obtained 91% of the accuracy. So this is kind of breakthrough for the hockey predictions. And what they have done as compared to me and to other guys, so in principle, they have taken more samples. They have downloaded 10 seasons instead of 5. They have taken more features. They included into considerations not only statistics for the teams, but also statistics for the individual players in those teams. And so this is a huge number of features, of course. They have implemented more sophisticated feature engineering techniques, for example, principal component analysis and so on. Yeah, and they have got this nice result. Okay, but what is really important for us, this is comparison with bookmakers. So in principle, I have statistics for bookmakers. I have the odds, and from those odds, we can calculate probabilities. So this is quite easy. You just have to keep in mind that bookmakers put the margin into those odds, and you have to subtract that margins in order to get the poor probabilities. So I have done that, and I have found that the accuracy of bookmakers model on the same data set which I have used for testing my model was, and this was surprising for me, was 58%. So this is nearly the same as I have in my model. And what else is interesting, if we have a look on the distribution of probabilities for my model and for bookmakers model for some small data set, we see that the distribution of errors is very similar. So I don't know, of course, but it looks like bookmakers are using some models which are similar to that I have developed in this project. So at least it looks like this. And okay, so we have the model which has 60% of accuracy. We have the odds from bookmakers. So what we can do, we can make some numerical experiment, just winning some virtual euros. So what I do, I take some budget to, for example, 200 euros. Then I place the bet on every match, 10 euros for every match. And you can see here if, and I do that according to my model predictions. And you can see if the model gets me the right prediction, I win money. And if it gets me an incorrect prediction, I lose money. And we can calculate so the change of my money, and finally at the end of after the end of these 20 matches, the total profit was positive. This is 34 euros, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, and this is the summary of and outlook of my project. So it was developed a machine learning model which is able to predict the outcomes of matches in the regular season in National Hockey League, and it has nearly 60% of accuracy, and this is compatible with bookmakers models, or I don't know, maybe they have just smart guys there in companies. And also it was shown that this model with this percent of accuracy is able to compete with bookmakers and to get some net positive profit for the fixed bet amount. And the future steps for me, in principle, of course, I want to improve the accuracy of my model because we saw that it is possible to do. And also I want to deploy this model and to make it available for the sports fans, for example. I think they will be happy to have such tool, and me too, of course. So thank you for your attention.